Snoop Dogg is one of the coolest, most loved, and successful rappers of all time. But his story has very violent and shady beginnings. From being signed to one of the most dangerous men in the rap game in the person of Suge Knight, to being associated with Tupac, who was murdered in cold blood, to being arrested after an award show for his involvement in a murder case.
Snoop's bodyguard shot and killed Philip Waldemarian.
Snoop's story and rise to fame has been somewhat suspicious, even though his story is not really known to many. Let's take a deep dive into his suspicious rise. Speculation about Tupac's death. Long before the world knew them as legends, Calvin Broadus Jr., better known as Snoop Dogg, and Tupac Amaru Shakur were just two young men navigating the treacherous waters of the rap game.
Tupac brought Biggie with him. We rocking, we let Cub get down with us. We go in the back, smoke, chill, hang out. It's beautiful.
When did it go sideways?
Once Pac got shot.
Their paths crossed in the early 1990s, a time when hip-hop was more than music. It was a lifeline for those who lived on the fringes of society. Snoop Dogg, with his silky smooth flow, had begun to make waves in the industry with his debut on Dr. Dre's Deep Cover and his subsequent album, Doggy Style, which catapulted him to stardom. Tupac, on the other hand, was already a burgeoning force with his socially conscious lyrics and electrifying persona, capturing the hearts of fans with tracks like Brenda's Got a Baby and Keep Your Head Up. Their friendship ignited when Snoop Dogg joined Death Row Records, the label that would later sign Tupac after his stint in prison. It was a kinship that seemed destined by the universe, as both artists shared a profound understanding of the struggles of street life and the transformative power of music. They were kindred spirits, each with their own unique style, but together they were a force to be reckoned with. In the studio, their chemistry was undeniable. Tracks like Two of America's Most Wanted showcased their synergy, with Snoop's laid-back delivery perfectly complementing Tupac's aggressive and passionate flow. Outside the booth, they were brothers, often seen laughing and sharing moments of genuine camaraderie. They were a duo that represented the full spectrum of the human experience, joy and pain, triumph and tragedy. But as their stars rose, so did the tensions between the coasts. The media-fueled rivalry between East and West Coast rappers was beginning to cast a dark shadow over the industry. As the 1990s progressed, the hip-hop scene became increasingly polarized, with the East Coast-West Coast rivalry reaching a fever pitch. At the heart of this conflict was Death Row Records, helmed by the formidable Suge Knight, whose reputation for violence and intimidation was as well known as the hits his label produced. The label became a lightning rod for controversy, with Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur at the epicenter of the storm. Tupac, fresh out of prison and fueled by a sense of betrayal, became the standard bearer for the West Coast, often lashing out at East Coast figures he believed were responsible for his incarceration. His fiery rhetoric and unapologetic stance resonated with fans, but also fanned the flames of discord. Snoop Dogg, meanwhile, found himself caught in the crossfire. His relationship with Tupac began to show signs of strain as the pressure to choose sides intensified. Suge Knight's influence loomed large over Death Row, and his demand for absolute loyalty put Snoop in a precarious position. The once familial atmosphere of the label started to resemble a fortress under siege, with artists and executives alike expected to toe the line. Snoop, known for his more diplomatic approach and connections with artists from both coasts, struggled to navigate the increasingly hostile environment. The situation reached a boiling point when Snoop publicly expressed his desire to collaborate with East Coast artists, including Puffy and Biggie.
And was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like them niggas, I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way.
This olive branch was seen as an act of defiance by some within his own camp, who questioned his allegiance. Tupac, in particular, felt that Snoop's stance undermined the West Coast position, leading to a palpable tension between the two. Despite their personal bond, the external pressures and the toxic atmosphere within Death Row began to erode the trust and camaraderie that Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur once shared. The tension within Death Row Records and between its two biggest stars, Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur, reached a critical juncture as Snoop faced trial for murder charges. The trial was a media circus, with the public eye firmly fixed on the outcome. In 1996, after a grueling legal battle, Snoop Dogg was acquitted of all charges, a verdict that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community and beyond. This moment should have been a cause for celebration within the Death Row family, but instead, it marked a further cooling of relations between Snoop and Tupac. Tupac's legal troubles and near-fanatical dedication to the West Coast cause created an environment of us versus them, and Snoop's acquittal did little to ease the growing divide. Tupac, who had always been vocal about loyalty and the street code, began to view Snoop's actions and affiliations with suspicion. The strain on their friendship was palpable, with Tupac feeling that Snoop was not fully committed to the West Coast, and Death Row's aggressive stance in the ongoing feud. The final interactions between the two were fraught with this tension. One of the most telling moments came during an interview with Angie Martinez, where Snoop expressed his love for his East Coast counterparts, Puffy and Biggie. This statement, made publicly, was a stark contrast to the hardline approach Tupac and Suge Knight were were taking. When Snoop returned to the hotel after the interview, he was met with a chilling atmosphere, a clear sign that his words had not gone down well with his death row associates. Things got so bad after this point that on their trip to Mike Tyson's boxing match in Las Vegas, Snoop Dogg felt his life was threatened while he sat away from the other members of the crew in the backseat of the plane.
It's either the moment you gonna kill me, and we're gonna get some clarity in this air.
The last time Snoop Dogg saw Tupac Shakur was on a flight back to Los Angeles. The once warm and brotherly interactions had been replaced by silence and distance. Snoop, feeling isolated and vulnerable, took to covering himself with a blanket and clutching a knife and fork for protection, a symbolic gesture of the fear and distrust that had crept into their relationship.
I'm like, all right, I see what's finna happen. I've been around these, I know how they get down. I grab me a knife and a fork, sit in the back of the plane, all the way in the back. I'm the last seat. So if somebody gonna get killed, if I'm gonna get killed, somebody dying with me.
Days later, the world was rocked by the news of Tupac's shooting in Las Vegas. Snoop, like many, held on to hope that Tupac would pull through, but it was not to be. Tupac Shakur's death left an indelible mark on Snoop Dogg and the music world. The real killers on that fateful night have not been found today. However, there have been many rumors and conspiracy theories from that night about the people who were not on good terms with Tupac just before his assassination. Snoop Dogg is a part of such people, and Snoop's career rise just after Tupac's death lends more credence to this rumor. The 1993 arrest and controversy. As Snoop prepared to release his own album, which was already being hailed as the next big thing in rap, the streets he once roamed were never far behind. On the evening of August 25, 1993, a confrontation in the Palms district escalated beyond words. Philip Woldemariam, a 25-year-old man, was fatally shot, and Snoop Dogg found himself entangled in a narrative far removed from his music.
He had a gun and, he was going for it. And my bodyguard reacted, like he was supposed to do.
The incident sent ripples through the community and the music industry. Snoop, along with his bodyguard and another associate, were implicated in the shooting. The rapper's attorney would later claim self-defense, painting a picture of a man pushed to the brink by repeated threats to his life. As the news broke, fans and critics alike waited with bated breath to see how this real-life drama would unfold for the rap star, whose career was just beginning to bloom. Against the backdrop of this personal crisis, Snoop Dogg's debut album was on the verge of release, and the stakes for his future had never been higher. The arrest came at a time when his voice was about to be amplified to the masses, and Suge Knight was about to make him one of the hottest artists in the world.
I took him because I knew one thing. For me to make this dude the most hottest artist in the world, people gotta see him. So I know we taking up as a chance, but at the same time, it's his job to be an artist and promote this stuff. And then when they come to arrest him, it's my job to get him out of there.
Suge asked him to go for the MTV Bass Award show instead of immediately turning himself in. The detectives then came in looking for Snoop, who seemed disturbed all through the show, so much so that his voice was shaky while announcing the winner of an award.
And the winner is En Vogue.
Snoop eventually turns himself in subsequently for first-degree murder, and Suge gets him out on bail for $1 million.
Immediately, Suge gets him released on $1 million bond. The 10 p.m. house arrest.
The arrest of Snoop Dogg on murder charges sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, so much so that a then-colleague, Nate Dogg, voiced out his fear.
The possibility of him going to jail forever and everything we worked for, hard for, is just gone. It's blown out the window. It was a scary time.
The public and media were captivated by the dramatic turn of events, as the rapper who had just reached the pinnacle of success was now facing the possibility of life behind bars. Headlines blared across the nation, and the story dominated news cycles. Fans were left reeling, while critics of gangster rap pointed to the incident as a grim example of life imitating art. Despite the severity of the charges, Snoop's career didn't falter. In fact, it seemed to gain momentum. His album, Doggy Style, was released in November of 1993 and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, quickly becoming a defining album of the decade. The juxtaposition of his legal battles with his commercial triumphs only fueled the public's fascination with the rapper. As Snoop's legal team geared up for battle, the rapper maintained his innocence. The defense hinged on the claim that the shooting was an act of self-defense, a response to a perceived threat after a series of confrontations with the victim. The prosecution, however, painted a different picture, one where Snoop and his associates were the aggressors in a gang-related feud. The preliminary hearings and subsequent trial became a media circus, with every development dissected by pundits and fans alike. The courtroom was packed daily, with supporters and detractors eager to witness the proceedings. The legal process was lengthy and complex, with motions and counter-motions filed by both sides. Witnesses took the stand, offering conflicting accounts of the events that led to Woldemariam's death. Throughout the ordeal, Snoop Dogg remained in the public eye, his music videos on constant rotation and his songs flooding the airwaves. The trial proceedings did little to dampen his rising star, and if anything, the controversy surrounding his legal situation seemed to endear him even more to a fan base that was growing by the day. The rapper's plight resonated with many who saw him as a symbol of the systemic struggles young black men face in America. As the trial dragged on, the question on everyone's mind was whether Snoop Dogg's career would ultimately be overshadowed by his legal woes or if he would emerge unscathed, his reputation as an artist solidified by the trials he faced outside the recording studio. The mid-90s were a period of intense scrutiny and challenge for Snoop Dogg. As the calendar turned to 1995, the rapper found himself still deeply entangled in the legal system. The murder trial stemming from the 1993 incident continued to loom large over his career, a career that he was determined to push forward despite the circumstances. 1995 brought its own set of challenges for Snoop. In July, he was stopped for a traffic violation, which led to the discovery of a firearm in his vehicle. This arrest added another layer of complexity to his ongoing legal battles, as he now faced additional charges while still under the cloud of the murder trial. The public watched closely as Snoop navigated these treacherous waters, his every move dissected by a media hungry for developments. Amidst this legal turmoil, Snoop Dogg's music career continued to flourish. He worked on his sophomore album, The Dogfather, which was released in November of 1996. The album was highly anticipated and arrived at a time when the rapper's future seemed most uncertain. The pressure to follow up on the success of Doggy Style was immense, and Snoop channeled the chaos of his personal life into his music, addressing his legal issues and the violence that had become synonymous with his public persona. The murder trial, which had stretched on for over 3 years, finally concluded in 1996. Snoop Dogg was acquitted of all charges in a verdict that sent ripples through the hip-hop community and beyond. The decision was met with a mix of relief and celebration from his supporters, while others remained critical of the outcome. The acquittal marked a turning point for Snoop. With the most serious legal hurdles behind him, he was free to fully focus on his music and his public image. The past few years' experiences had left an indelible mark on the rapper, influencing his artistic direction and personal outlook. The trials and tribulations of 1995 to 96 tested Snoop Dogg's resilience, but ultimately he emerged with his career intact and his legacy as a hip-hop icon more firmly established than ever. What happened after he got famous? As the late 1990s approached, Snoop Dogg was already a force in the hip-hop world, but his journey was far from over. The rap landscape was shifting, and so was Snoop. In a move that surprised many, he left Death Row Records and signed with Master P's No Limit Records, a label known for its gritty, southern style of rap. This transition marked a new chapter in Snoop's career, one that would see him embrace change and continue to grow as an artist. The first product of this new alliance was the album The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, released in 1998. This album was a departure from the G-Funk sound that had defined Snoop's early work instead of incorporating the heavy beats and brash production that were No Limit's signature. The album was a commercial success, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 and solidifying Snoop's ability to adapt to new environments and sounds. Following the success of his No Limit debut, Snoop Dogg released No Limit Top Dog in 1999. The album was a homecoming of sorts, as it saw Snoop reuniting with Dr. Dre on several tracks, blending the No Limit style with the West Coast sound that had launched his career. The album's singles, including Please and G Bedtime Stories, showcase Snoop's versatility and his ability to create hits across different sonic landscapes. Snoop's time with No Limit Records was a prolific output and experimentation period. He continued to collaborate with a variety of artists, expanding his musical repertoire and influence. His work with Master P and the No Limit family introduced him to new audiences and demonstrated his willingness to push the boundaries of his craft. As the new millennium dawned, Snoop Dogg's career continued to flourish. He began working with a new generation of producers and artists, including Pharrell Williams of the Neptunes. This partnership proved to be particularly fruitful, with Pharrell's sleek production complementing Snoop's laid-back delivery perfectly. Their collaboration produced hits like Beautiful and Drop It Like It's Hot, the latter becoming Snoop's first #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100. Snoop's collaborations extended beyond hip-hop as he worked with artists from various genres. His smooth verses, paired with Justin Timberlake's pop sensibilities on Signs, created a cross-genre hit that further demonstrated Snoop's versatility. On multiple occasions, he also teamed up with the legendary Charlie Wilson, formerly of the Gap Band, creating a blend of R&B and rap that resonated with fans of both genres. Throughout the late 1990s and into the early 2000s, Snoop Dogg's ability to collaborate and innovate kept him at the forefront of the music industry. His albums on No Limit Records, his work with Master P, and his collaborations with artists like Pharrell, Justin Timberlake, and Charlie Wilson showcased a rapper who was unafraid to evolve and who consistently found new ways to stay relevant in a rapidly changing musical landscape. Snoop Dogg's journey through the late 1990s was a testament to his resilience and his unyielding pursuit of musical excellence. From the streets of Long Beach to the top of the charts, and now to the diverse sounds of No Limit Records, Snoop had proven that he could thrive in any setting. His collaborations during this period were not just successful, they were influential, shaping the sound of hip-hop and popular music for years to come. As the calendar turned to the 2000s, Snoop Dogg's musical odyssey continued to surprise and delight fans around the globe. With an already legendary status in the hip-hop realm, Snoop began to explore new territories, pushing the boundaries of genre and proving that his artistry knew no limits. The Masterpiece, an album that would once again redefine his sound and solidify his place in the music industry. The album's lead single, Drop It Like It's Hot, featuring Pharrell Williams, sizzled its way to the top of the charts, becoming Snoop's first #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. The track's minimalist beat, coupled with Snoop's smooth delivery, created an anthem that resonated across the world and became an iconic piece of early 2000 culture. But Snoop Dogg's influence wasn't limited to his solo work. He also joined forces with fellow rappers Warren G and Nate Dogg to form the group 213, a nod to their shared area code and deep-rooted friendship. Their album, The Hard Way, released in 2004, was a celebration of their West Coast origins and a tribute to the G-Funk era that had launched their careers. The group's chemistry was undeniable, and the album was a hit, further cementing Snoop's status as a collaborative powerhouse. Snoop Dogg's journey through the 2000s saw him continue to release hit albums, including The Blue Carpet Treatment and Ego Trippin', each showcasing his versatility and his ability to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of the music industry. His collaborations with artists across genres kept him at the forefront of popular music, and his influence on hip-hop culture remained as strong as ever. In a move that surprised many, Snoop Dogg embraced a new spiritual and musical path as he ventured into reggae. Adopting the moniker Snoop Lion, he released the album Reincarnated in 2012. The project was a departure from his rap roots, featuring a laid-back Rastafarian-inspired sound. The album and its accompanying documentary chronicled Snoop's exploration of the Rastafari movement and his journey to Jamaica, where he recorded with reggae legends. Reincarnated was a bold statement, showcasing Snoop's willingness to grow as an artist and explore new dimensions of his musical identity. Snoop's musical explorations didn't stop with reggae. In 2018, he took another unexpected turn, releasing his first gospel album, Bible of Love. The album featured a collection of gospel artists and was a testament to Snoop's deep-rooted spirituality. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard Gospel Albums chart, proving that Snoop Dogg's appeal transcended genre and expectation. Snoop Dogg's continued relevance in the music industry was undeniable throughout the 2000s. His forays into different musical genres, from reggae to gospel, were not just side projects. They were sincere expressions of an artist seeking to push his creative boundaries. His first #1 hit, Drop It Like It's Hot, and his formation of Group 213 were just a few highlights of a decade that saw Snoop Dogg maintain his status as a musical innovator. Snoop Dogg's exploration of different musical genres in the 2000s was a journey of self-discovery and artistic expression. From the streets of Long Beach to the top of the charts and now to the soulful sounds of reggae and gospel, Snoop had once again proven his ability to evolve and remain a significant force in the music industry. His impact on the culture was as profound as ever, and his legacy grew with each new venture. Snoop Dogg's influence extends far beyond the confines of music. He has become a cultural icon, a status achieved through his ventures into film, television, and business, and his undeniable impact on popular culture. His charisma and unique persona have made him a beloved figure in entertainment and a pioneer in the cannabis industry. Snoop's foray into the world of film and television has been as diverse and successful as his music career. He has appeared in various movies, showcasing his acting chops in everything from stoner comedies like Half-Baked to gritty urban dramas such as Training Day. His own life story and persona have been so compelling that they've been the subject of films like Reincarnated, which documents his transformation into Snoop Lion, an exploration of Rastafarian culture. On television, Snoop Dogg has been equally prolific. He's hosted shows like Doggy Fizzle Televizzle and Snoop Dogg's Fatherhood, which offered fans a glimpse into his life beyond the stage. His charm and wit have made him a sought-after guest on talk shows and a favorite host for events like the BET Hip Hop Awards. Influence and impact. Outside of music, Snoop's directorial work in adult films further showcases his entrepreneurial spirit and his willingness to push boundaries. His ventures into this industry were met with both controversy and commercial success, further solidifying his reputation as an icon who is unafraid to take risks. In the realm of professional wrestling, Snoop Dogg has made memorable appearances, bringing his larger-than-life personality to the ring. His love for the sport and his performances at events like WrestleMania have endeared him to a whole new audience, proving that his appeal is truly cross-generational and cross-cultural. Snoop Dogg's business acumen is perhaps most evident in his ventures within the cannabis industry. A longtime advocate for cannabis legalization and normalization, Snoop has been at the forefront of the cannabis movement. His own brand, Leafs by Snoop, offers a range of cannabis products that reflect his expertise and passion for the plant. His involvement in the industry has not only been profitable, but has also contributed to the growing acceptance and decriminalization of cannabis use. Beyond his business ventures, Snoop Dogg has become an internet sensation, his image and catchphrases spawning countless memes that circulate on social media. His ability to remain relevant in the digital age speaks to his understanding of popular culture and his connection with younger audiences. Snoop's contributions to the normalization of cannabis use cannot be overstated. He has been a vocal advocate for the benefits of cannabis, both medicinal and recreational, long before it became mainstream. His openness about his own use has helped to destigmatize the plant and has paved the way for other celebrities to speak out. Snoop Dogg's role as a cultural icon is multifaceted. His ventures into film, television, and business, along with his influence on popular culture and the cannabis industry, have made him a figure of immense significance. From his music to his memes, from his acting to his advocacy, Snoop Dogg has left an indelible mark on the world. His journey from rapper to cultural icon is a testament to his talent, his vision, and his ability to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing cultural landscape. In the ever-evolving narrative of Snoop Dogg's illustrious career, recent years have seen him undertake some of his most ambitious endeavors yet. His journey has come full circle with the acquisition of Death Row Records, the label that launched his career in 2022. This move was not just a business decision, but a symbolic homecoming for Snoop, who now had control over the catalog that had defined an era of hip-hop. Snoop Dogg's presence on the music scene remains as strong as ever, with recent album releases that continue to showcase his versatility and enduring appeal. Albums like I Wanna Thank Me and From the Streets to Tha Sweets are proof that Snoop is still a vital voice in hip-hop, capable of drawing in listeners with his signature style and charisma. His 19th studio album, Bo DR, released under the newly acquired Death Row Records, is a testament to his longevity and his ability to stay relevant in a rapidly changing industry. Snoop's influence on the current music industry is undeniable. He continues to collaborate with a diverse array of artists, from newcomers to established stars, bridging generational gaps and bringing his unique flavor to each project. His collaborations extend beyond hip-hop, as he works with artists from various genres, further cementing his status as a global music icon. One of Snoop Dogg's most high-profile appearances in recent times was his performance at the Super Bowl LVI halftime show. Sharing the stage with other industry legends, Snoop captivated millions of viewers worldwide, delivering a nostalgic and fresh performance. His appearance at this iconic event was a celebration of his career and a reminder of his impact on popular culture. Snoop Dogg's upcoming projects are a source of much anticipation. With an album called Missionary, produced by Dr. Dre, in the works, fans are eager to hear the latest evolution of Snoop's sound. His ability to continually innovate and produce music that resonates with audiences is a hallmark of his genius as an artist. Beyond his musical achievements, Snoop Dogg's influence extends into his charitable work and political activism. He founded the Snoop Youth Football League, which provides opportunities for children to engage in sports and learn valuable life skills. His charitable efforts also include giving away turkeys to the less fortunate during the holidays, demonstrating his commitment to giving back to the community. Snoop Dogg's political activism is another facet of his cultural influence. He has been vocal in his support for political candidates and has used his platform to advocate for issues such as gun control and police reform. His willingness to speak out on social and political matters shows that he is an artist who is deeply engaged with the world around him. For more interesting videos, please click on any of the cards displayed on your screen.